What's the deal, everyone? Welcome to the great outdoors for once. I'm actually hanging out in my new stand and enjoying nature with a little bit of this time off, and I thought, what a better time to give back to the community. Now, some of you are members, but most of you are not, so I thought I'd give you a peek behind the members program, and this would typically be one of those videos. It's going to be a full real estate video edit. Now, typically these also do not do very well with the YouTube algorithm, but that being said, it's my holiday gift to you. So you can check it out. And I'm going above and beyond for this one because not only am I going to give you the video, I'm also going to give you all the footage I used with the music so you can edit right along to it. I'm going to give you my LUTs, which I've never actually made before. They just come along with the process of making the grades, which is super important because I've never given away the grades before. These are for the Sony A7iv and the DJI Air2s for Davinci Resolve in particular. So I'll be giving all of that away in a downloadable file on my website so you can follow along and really kind of like get to edit like I do, I guess. And you'll be able to use my exact footage. So hopefully this helps you a little bit. And in case you're curious, I'm filming this on the Insta360 One RS 1-inch edition. Long name. Rode video mic attached to it. So I've got like the mic adapter and I've never used it with this before. So we'll see how this turns out. Hopefully this helps you out in the holiday season. It's my gift to you, free of charge and all that jazz. One thing to keep out for is that when I move my office around, I guess I like tweak my microphone somehow and the audio is capped hard. And I apologize for the audio quality. I did everything I could back in post-production to make it as bearable as possible. But there are still some points that are just like, I can't believe it. And I apologize for that. But yeah, like, subscribe. You know how it goes. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy this time off. And I will catch you next time. What's the deal, everyone? Let's get straight into it. You can see my Davinci Resolve split screen. Time to get into house editing. Now, the first thing you should know is that I've already gone ahead and brought in all my footage over here that you can see. This is video number 154 for the year. So the very first thing we want to do is I already have my base timeline set out. I've got videos about that. Go check them out if you need help with that. This is for everyone from that point, right? So let's come up here to all of our footage. I'm going to press Control A, which is going to select everything. Sorry if you can hear my button clicks along the way. I'm going to right click and go to Clip Attributes. Now these were shot on two different cameras. This was the Sony A7iv and the DJI Air2s. And I did 5.7 on the Air2s, which is only 30 frames. The A7iv is 60 frames a second, but it's going to take both of those two different frames and bring it to whatever I set. And I'm going to set that video frame rate right here to 23.976. So you get that nice little slow-mo. And that way now I can select any of these clips. This is from 60 frames down to 23. And if I go down to the Air2s, you can see if I right click and go click attributes right here, 23.976. So it doesn't matter what your frame rate is. If you select them all at the same time, it will change it to whatever you want. You don't have to do it all individually. Now, this is my first opening screen right here, something very basic. It's just got the actual address right here, the song playing in the background. Let's see, I'm going to turn that down just a tiny bit for y'all so you can still hear it. So you can see right here, I've got these two frames set up. That's so that way, this is the one I did last time. This is the one I'm doing today. So that way I always have one on top of the other to use as a guide. I have all of my markings down here on my music. Once again, that's something I talk about in earlier videos. If you need help with that, then let's rock and roll. Sorry about that. I always start with aerials personally, and I know for a fact the shot I want to start with is this one. Because what I do with this frame right here, as you can see, I've got a solid color right here. I use white and I've got that pulled down to a little under 75%. That way I can kind of show the background, which will be this drone shot as it's coming in with the address. It makes the sense when I put it all together. So here we go. Boom. We have that shot. And now you see what I mean? You can see it. And so now as it plays through, you can see what's happening in the background right behind it. The house is directly under the title. It goes away, and now we're at the house. Drone shot. Now we're going to go to another drone shot for the front exterior. I did all of the front exteriors as drone shots because I wanted to show if I have to do exteriors on the front and back, I prefer to use all the drone or all the Air2s because it makes matching that footage way easier in the long run and you don't have to spend a lot of time on it. And right here, we all know time is king. So we're gonna rock and roll so you can see this real time. We've done that one. Now we're gonna go to the next clip. Let's see, which one should I use? I'm gonna use this one that's a little bit darker. I did 2 on site because I was worried about these hot spots being way too overexposed. 1, 2, and then the last one will be this one. Ooh, let's go forward a little more right there. There we go. And now time for the interiors. And I had to shoot this in a really weird way because there was also someone there measuring and floor plans for the house while I was there doing this. I personally don't offer those services. I work with other companies that offer them, so that way we can split clients. That's a whole nother topic matter, but I had to work in a really weird way, so I can't go in the... Usually when I shoot, I have everything laid out in order. I'm going to have to go in a different order this time, but that's all right. Worst things have happened. I just have to look through my clips a little bit. So this is really simple what I'm doing right here. Whenever I film on site, you can see right here, I go in. Let me pick a better one because I know that one is what I was going to use. I go in and out, usually twice is what I like to do. What is going on here? Here we go. I had forgot to set the white balance on site. So there we go. Sometimes I do that. I start recording and I'm like, oh wait, I forgot to set the white balance. Let's do this one more time. And there we go. Then we're going to go to the other side of the room. There we go. Then from there, we can do this shot because it's not going from pull in to pull out. It's going from, like, I'm twisting on this shot. This shot I'm really twisting, and then I go to a pull out. So my next shot either has to be a twist or a pull out, not a push in, because you don't want that too much jarring effect going on, if that makes sense. So let's see what's next. There we go. I'm going to keep rocking with the pull out since that was the last thing that I did. And now we can go into the kitchen. And I'm going to start on this side because I know that's more... Wait, let's do it again. This one right here. I can see right here. If we go back to this one, I could see myself in the shadow, and I caught that, so I moved where I was standing so I wasn't in the shadow anymore. Just little things like that, little tips I can tell you to stay out of the frame. So here we go, here we go. Now let's do the rest of the kitchen, which will do this. Like that. Then we'll do this one. Actually, I want to move this around because I like that shot. So, let's see, we went from that to, let's do this next then. Move all these down. So then we got the kitchen, move this one over. I don't even know if we need this shot. I don't think we need that shot, honestly. I took it, but we don't need it. Let's do this one and this one. This is always a tough call when you're doing this, is you got to kind of know what to use and what not to use because you've only got a certain amount of slots right here. So you're trying to stay within the time budget of the video that you're producing and the music, so you don't have to change it around, you don't want to cut it and all that stuff. Like I said, we're trying to make it as easy as possible. So sometimes you just got to cut a shot, and that means I don't need this one either because I've already shown this area. So, and I don't need even though this one's pretty, but we're not going to use it. I just like the, you can catch a little bit of the lens flare coming in. I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, I guess that's it for the main space. So let's go into the primary suite. Now, my first primary suite shot, whenever I'm doing it, I always like to let it ride a little bit longer than I'm gonna do everything else. And for this one, it's only, let's see. I'm gonna let it ride one more because I like the primary suite to be like this one little special spot of the house that gets more treatment than everything else. Yeah, I like that one riding low. It's worth me getting rid of those other 2 extra shots for that one primary shot, in my opinion. I love the good primary shot. All right, into the primary bathroom. And what we're gonna do first is do the close-up. So if you watch my videos from now on, I go into the primary suite, and every shot after the primary suite will be pulling away because, in my opinion, it's kind of like you see the beginning of the house, then you see the primary suite, which is the most important, and everything else is just kind of what you get on the way out the door. So that's just kind of the way I do my videos. So from now on, I'm going to be pulling out for literally every shot you'll notice will be a pull out, which is up to you, however you want to do it. But I know, let's see, we're going to start with the bathtub. Then we go to this shot that has the tub and the one sink, nice and short. And then we go back over to this shot, which has the big sink, shows a little bit of the tub, shows a little bit of everything. And then we'll let that one ride for 2 clicks instead of just 1. And then we're on to basically the entire rest of the house. So what's the coolest room I want? Oh, wait, this was a weird layout. It had this room that was attached to the primary suite. I think it used to be like an attached nursery or something, which is kind of cool. But in this situation, it's kind of weird because it is directly attached to that primary suite. Either way, time to go upstairs where the rest of the bedrooms are. Now, what I'm going to do from this point on is I'm going to put, actually, let's do that office room first because it was huge and weird. So we can do 2 shots of it probably. Here we go. We'll do this one first since it's the biggest one. And what we can even do in this shot is I'll show you how to do a little speed ramping. Go to retime curve. You're going to come over here where it says speed. You're going to unclick retime frame. Go back to clicking on just retime speed. I don't know if that popped up on the recording because sometimes this little bottom area doesn't pop up. But you want to make sure it says just retime frame, and retime frame is not checked. Just retime speed is. Click that. Then we are going to go to right here, and we're going to point one of these marks. Then we're going to, and this is where you want your speed ramp to start. Now we're going to go where we want it to end, which is the next cut in the music. And what we're going to do is first we're going to extend this all the way out. There we go. And we can grab this line and pull it up. If it goes past that, you can go over here, and this will increase your percentage of speed. And that'll make sense as I keep pulling it up. And I want to go as far as I can, get it right to the edge like that. And we're going to click that button again, and then we're going to drag this back down, all the way back down to 100%, which is the regular operating speed. There we go, 104, that's close enough. Now I'm going to pull this in like this, and I'm going to drag it over just a little bit, right over this speed hump right there. I want it to go gradual, and that's what these little buttons are, there and there. Actually, I want this one to just drop stop, I think. And then boom, and let's see what that looks like. And just like that, you've learned how to do a cool little speed ramp. Now, before we move on, let me teach you how to take that speed ramp to the next level, because I will forget about it. So what you want to do is make sure you've got this speed ramp thing still open that I just closed, and you can see these 2 marks, right? If you hover over these 2 marks like this and press the M button, you'll make a mark, then go to the other one and make a mark with M again, then you can close this, and I'll show you why. We can go down here to our audio effects, and are these my, here we go. And this is just a simple little swoosh effect. Make it nice and big, and what you want to do is kind of line this up so that way it fits in between these two. So now it's not loud enough. Let's crank this volume a little. See, and since it hits right on the beat, it's kind of hard to tell. This is actually a little loud, so let's just turn this song down a little. Boom, clean. Now, if you want to go above and beyond, you could add a motion blur effect. I teach you how to do this in another video, but now you add just a little bit of motion, so that way when you move, it really sells that effect a little bit harder. And having these mark points makes it really easy to do that, or should I say much easier to do that. There we go, and boom. Now we're done with that section, and we have really sold that one cool effect that works really well on a big room like this. I wasn't sure if it was going to work out for me or not, but apparently it did. Now let's go right back to our footage right up here, 154, and right on down the line. So we did that big room upstairs. Now it's time to do every other room. So I'm going to start with offices. I tend to like to start with the office if possible. Bonus room, then office, then bedrooms, then bathrooms last. I like to put all the bathrooms at the very last. And that's just, I don't know why. I'm a weirdo. That's what I like to do. What can I say? Boom. I've got some heavy, I had to use some high ISO in this house. It was so dark and it was so bright outside because this house like just created this huge piece of shade. It was in the middle of the woods, but just the area, you know how it is. Like everything outside was super bright and everything inside was super dark. An unfortunate situation for me as the video guy. Did I ever show this room? I did not. So that means I'm going to use it at the very end. Let's see. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and move it where it needs to be. It needs to go here. So we'll take all of this and we'll just move it over one stop. But we're going to have to go through now and make sure that all of these line up, because they probably won't. Because even though it's like a melodic beat, that doesn't mean they all actually line up perfect, because all of them are off just a tiny little bit usually. So here we go. Move this back over. And there we go. All right, just had to make sure that line back up. Now, here we go. Oh, I forgot to put the room in. That would help. I'm just going to use the one shot of the room, and I'm going to be pushing in because that's what I usually do down there. And this was a pretty room, so I know they'd be mad if I forgot it. There we go. We're not going to make it a lot. We're just going to make it a little bit. And it'll be nice because we'll have this nice pull out, then we'll have this one quick, and then nice super slow primary. Here we go. We're rocking and rolling. We're cooking with grace. All right, now more bedroom. I did all the bedrooms. Now it's time for bathrooms. This bathroom was the worst. There was no way I could show both of them from the doorway, so I had to come in and kind of do two shots. So we got this one, then we got this one. Just so you can see it actually has a shower. And then we need to go find this one, which is just me literally crouching on the ground for this shot. I'm like laying on the ground and just pulling it this way. Either way, I digress. Let's keep going. All right, other bathroom. Now that should be everything on the inside. which means now it's time for just the rear exterior stuff, which aren't a whole lot of shots. So I might end up spacing a little of these out a little bit more, which I'll show you if we need to do in just a second. So here we go. Let's go outside. This one is going to be a double because it's the first exterior shot and it's a nice screened in porch. So we're going from fast, all these faster clips, faster moving, and then nice and slow. They expect it to change again, but it doesn't. All right, let's keep going. So we did that one. Now let's do this one. And I did one from this side. There we go. I'm going to leave it in because it's a video. If it was a photo, I'd never leave it in because it's too much lens flare. But since it's a video, we're good. Now we pull out this way, which has a little bit of lens flare. Ooh, all right. So I can already see I'm going to have to move this over. This is going to get moved over. This one has to get extended. This one still stays nice and tiny. And now we just have the last shot. There we go. So, like I said, I knew we were going to have to extend at least one of those other shots. So let's push these down to where they need to be. This one I only want to be one anyway, honestly. I don't want it to take up too much space. This one is still going to be 2. Then we don't want the bathrooms to take up any more space. They've got enough space. You don't want these little half baths. But you can now take the 2 bedrooms and make them bigger. There we go. And now we have the whole layout done. Boom. Now it's just time to go to the colors. Here we go. Into the color tab we go. And if you've seen my videos before, you know I've taught you so many times about how to make these grades that are over here. I'm not going to go into depth on it this time. Go watch one of my old videos if you need to, but you can save these grades. These are all things that I've done before. So we're going to go to the very top and we're going to go with the Air2s first. So come over here, find the Air2s grade. We're going to grab it and pop it on there. And we're going to do some basic adjustments right here, just so that way, whenever we transfer it over, let's bring the darks down and come back over here and bring the lights up just a little bit. Now grab these other exterior drone shots, hit it with the same thing. I'm pressing down my middle mouse button and that's what's allowing me to steal everything, but I can tell that these are a little bit darker, so it's going to need to bring up the shadows a little bit on these. Let's see, this one, I can bring that lift up a little bit that I had to bring down for the first one. Because I don't know if you remember, I was worried about this clipping over here, and it's still doing a little bit, but I guess you can't get perfect things every time. There we go. Now, boom, look at that. That looks good. All of these levels over here look good. Now time to move to the interior, Air2s interiors, which are the A7 IV interiors, which are these, I believe. There we go. Boom, everything's all set up. I teach you how to build all of this in my other videos. I'm going to turn on every cast because, look, if I turn them off, this is what it looks like out of the camera. Get rid of the green yellow cast right there. Get rid of some of the purple blue. There's blue over there still, so really get rid of that blue. And here we go. Time to rock and roll. Which one is this one? Ooh, this one gives it super clean look. And I'm just going to put this gain down to about half because there's a lot of yellow spill in this house from this right here. So that's what this one is getting rid of, and I need to bring it down more because I only want to get rid of just a little bit. I'm trying to get rid of it on the ceilings in particular. Boom, there we go. So I'm going to grab all of this, and this is going to be just for these main rooms for where all this yellow is. So I'll steal this grade, replace, yes, getting rid of all of that yellow. Then when I get back to these other rooms that don't have so much yellow, I'm going to steal this grade, just like this one, but I'm going to get rid of this log. Oh no, look, I still need it in this bathroom. So you know what? I'm just going to do it on all of them, and we'll see what we need to change. Let's replace. There we go. Now what I'm going to do is go through each one and just kind of check out the exposure a little bit, make sure everything's right, make sure nothing looks crazy. This all looks good. That's tilted. I can see that right now. So let's go on in here and fix that. Make sure you have the clip selected. Rotate a little bit, zoom in a little bit. There we go. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it does have to be close. Zoom in a little bit more to get rid of that. There we go. All right. Back to the edit. There we go. Now this looks good. This looks good. This looks good. Good. This is a little dark, so we'll bring up its base exposure just like that. Then this also looks dark, so we will bring up its base exposure just like that. I don't care so much about the windows being blown out because there's nothing I can do about that in this case. This looks really blue and white compared to this, so let's pull this back up over here. And this one, it looks like maybe just the colors were a little bit off when I shot it. There we go. Now it matches a little better. And I'm also going to pull the shadows up for this one. Whoa, not that much. There we go. There we go. This one's a little dark also because this was just a super dark house. So I'm just going to pull those shadows up a little bit. This one looks fine. Looks fine. Looks fine. Looks good. 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 And good. Now time for the exteriors. So I just have another one. There we go. And let's grab these. Put them on there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to this one exterior one and kind of grade it the best as possible. Let's pull up the shadows. And then I'm going to come back here. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. We'll let those all match. It's a little bit too, honestly, like warm. It's got a little too much of that sunset look. Even though that's what was going on. You know what? I'm going to leave it. There we go. I'm going to make this, the shadows come up a little bit though. There we go. That's good. That's good. That's fine. That's good. This one's got still a little bit too much. Let's bring it down. There we go. Too much. There we go. All right, we've done everything except for go through and stabilize everything. But if you know me, I've already built all this in. So all I have to do is go up here. We'll go to our stabilize button just like that. And I already have all of my things built in. So I just have to go through and click all the buttons. So I will go ahead and play the end product now for you.